He's a retired surgeon, formerly serving as chief of surgery and chief of staff at a large community teaching hospital, who's now filling his retirement with writing novels. He's written 8 books, and he's here now to discuss his transition from the hospital to the typewriter. Please welcome John Hagen. John, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's wonderful to be speaking with you. So let's get this straight. You were a surgeon by profession. I mean, when did you first find your passion for writing?
Well, what happened was I'm now almost 70 years old. When I was around 60, I made the commitment I was going to retire from surgery at 65. And as part of my retirement plan, I bought a sailboat. I bought a sailboat in Greece, and I hired a delivery skipper to bring it to Toronto. It's about 5,000 nautical miles. And he got as far as 240 miles from Nova Scotia, and he abandoned it. The steering had broken, the sails were all torn. They were out of fuel, out of food, and there was 4 on board. He had 3 other crew members. And so there was a dramatic rescue from the boat using a Canadian Coast Guard helicopter. And no one got hurt, thank God, and everyone got off the boat safely. But about 6 months later, the boat was spotted off of the Azores. It's a natural kind of current. And I got a call from the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard said, "Hey, we found your boat." And but you know what? It hasn't been seen since. And it's still floating around out there somewhere. And so I sat down, and I was pretty upset about it because it was my retirement dream. And I kind of figured, well, you know, maybe this is a little too dangerous. Maybe I should think of something else to do when I'm retired. But that didn't last. And I bought a sailboat, and that's a boat you see right there on the video. And so I sat down as part of my therapy to get over this self-guided therapy. I wrote about it, and it was a great story. I shared it with my colleagues, and I shared it with our Canadian magazine called Maclean's Magazine, and they actually made another story about it. And then when I did retire, I had all this extra time in my hands, and I started writing novels. When you write a novel, it turns out you have to write about stuff you know about, and every novel there's some elements of truth inside the novel. I was chief of surgery, chief of staff, and there's always politics involved, and the politics could be just as unnerving as regular politics, and things happen that you can't really understand. So it's good to write them down and then have them turn out the way you would prefer them to see happen. And so that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy that. It uses up my all the time I've freed up from not being a surgeon.
Yes. Well, as far as what you're working on now, I mean, are there any books or projects that have got you busy lately?
Well, of course, yeah. Like I sail my boat every year down to the Caribbean. And last year, for example, I sailed from Hampton, Virginia with my crew of 2 guys. And we started off heading towards Antigua. And our meteorologist said, "Listen, you better duck into Bermuda. There's a storm coming." And so we ended up entering St. George's in the east part of Bermuda in really rough weather. There's big waves, there was strong winds, and it's a very narrow passage you have to go through. It's called the Town Cut, and you can't see anything. It's pitch black, and the rain is kind of coming down. And so it was pretty exciting, and you know we managed to get through it without damaging anyone or our boat. And so that, of course, is in one of my stories too. So.
Well, great. John, we're looking forward to diving into this incredible series. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Nice to meet you.
Learn more about John, his list of novels that include The Psycho, The Mission, and more by visiting john-hagen.com.